The process of registration, now that the deadline has passed, what happens now?
A preliminary list will be drawn up by Wednesday and will be published. It will be passed to all interested parties, all the political parties that want to have a copy of this list. They will be able to peruse it for 10 days, and if they see any voter there that they want to object to, who they feel doesn't live or doesn't qualify to be registered in the division, they can then make an application to the court, and by I think the 30th or so of January, the court will look at the objections and then pass judgment on the final list.
Coming down to Friday, which was a deadline for registration of persons to vote in the municipals, there were allegations of wrong being done with the rushed nationalization. What is your comment on that?
I don't know that there's anything wrong that has been done. What we freely admit to is that there has been a lot of people asking at the last minute, applying at the last minute for their nationality. But as the Director of Immigration has said, they must all fulfill all the requirements for nationality. All we are doing is speeding up the process for them. I can make the example of this Saturday. The Lands Department is going to be holding a special session for application for lands from those who are in Harmonyville. So we're making a special case for them to come because there are over 1,000 of them, I imagine, and you know, you're making provisions to help to provide the service to them. So it's not abnormal.
What would you say to those who would say that these quote-unquote instant Belizeans will end up hurting the country in the long run, even though it might benefit you as a politician seeking re-election?
I certainly don't subscribe to that, Patrick, and my party doesn't subscribe to that. These people want to live in Belize, have been here for some time. They have to be here for at least 5 years to even qualify for nationality. And most of the cases that I have seen, they have been here in excess of 5 or 10 years in the country, living, have children. In cases, some of them have children that are adults, that have been Belizean adults I'm talking about, that were born here in Belize, gone through the primary school, secondary school, and even the UB system. And these people, their parents are finally getting their nationality. The timing, like everybody has said, may make the process look a bit suspicious, but there's no reason for suspicion. There is no bypassing of the requirements. The elections, the immigration officer has said that, and I have confidence in the staff at the immigration department.
Talking about staff and confidence, San Pedro, a black eye on the department, if you will, where an officer was clearly caught not doing what she was supposed to have done. How will that be resolved?
Well, like I've said categorically on several occasions, that officer exercised serious indiscretion and was immediately suspended and will be put through the disciplinary process for her indiscretion and for not using proper judgment. No person other than authorized election and boundaries officials belong in the office except if they're registering, and certainly not after working hours, and certainly should not be around any of the documents or the information or the computer of the department. That having been said, though, we are confident that there is no way that that person's presence in the office could have compromised the election list, could have compromised the election process. And we want that to be explicitly clear to all Belizeans, that just being in the office was wrong, but that person could in no way have access to changing anything that would affect the outcome of an election.
We're in a politically charged season right now, leading up to a municipal and who knows, shortly after maybe a general election. The situation in Dangriga, where somebody was trying to make off with the computer used to register voters, is there a correlation, or was this just a crime of circumstance?
Well, I'm hoping that it was just circumstantial. I wouldn't want to think that that anybody would be serious enough about having this information and breaking into the Dangriga office. And I certainly don't even want to speculate if that is so, as to which who would want to do that. But we believe it's a random act and of burglary. And we will repeat, though, that even if they had taken the computer, it could not have compromised the election list, because those lists are not only kept at the office on those computers, but are also kept at the main office. There are also, as you know, binders that have the official documents, and so there's no way having that computer could affect or compromise the election process.
the opposition People's United Party is taking the chief elections officer to court for a decision she made in the Corozal Southeast constituency. Might the PUP just be jumping the gun a little bit?
I think they're totally playing politics with an issue which they know fully well how it works. The law states, first of all, that the chief elections officer may grant permission, and it says may for a specific reason, because it's not an outright right of anybody to peruse the binders. It is at the discretion of the chief elections officer. And though we want to be fair and transparent, you must also make those requests in light of the workload of the department. And as the chief elections officer said to the PUP, please apply at another time when we can accommodate your request because of the number of persons that were going into the office to be registered. In Corozal district alone, I can tell you that over 1,200 persons applied to be on the voters list in this last month. And so you can imagine that with 2 or 3 staff members there, and with 2 of them at least having to be going and doing field visits to verify 1,200 persons who have applied to make sure that they live there, the other one remaining in the office to take in new applicants, and the fact that the perusal of the binder needs to be done in the presence, constant presence of an officer. We couldn't spare any officer, and that's all the chief elections officer said to the PUP. Please come back at another time when we can afford to put an officer to sit there with you while you peruse the binders. She has now given them that letter starting today.
My final question, how are things looking for you in Belmopan? You ready for Dr. Agar?
I'm very, very happy with the response. I've been walking Belmopan since late November, and I am very confident that the people of Belmopan still sees me as their best option as area representative.
Thank you.